What's up guys, welcome back to another trade breakdown. This time a GBPUSD short setup that hit my stop loss, but I'm going to be analyzing why I took the trade and what I could have done better in order to avoid this trade, so definitely something important. So as you guys know, we started from the weekly time frame and we go down all the way towards the 50 minute to analyze the market. So on the weekly time frame, what can we see? Well, of course that the weekly here is swing bearish, then we got the pullback after the break, trading towards these premium prices, and from here we could look for shorts towards the swing low. Now overall we took some weekly liquidity, which looks a perfect point of interest in order to trade down lower from. Also from that point, what happened, we changed the order flow bearish and we broke the weekly fractal, and then again we broke it one more time. So then we created this supply zone, which was our order flow and which I was expecting to push price down lower. Also something to add, we had these two equal lows over here, this one and this one, which is really weak, which we should trade out in the near future. So definitely downside on the weekly time frame. Then on the daily time frame, the swing structure was also bearish and we traded in towards the supply, almost trading in these premium prices to trade down lower towards the low. We also took some liquidity, so already also checked everything off on the checklist, so it looks perfect for downside again. Going over to the 4-hour time frame, what can we see? Well, again, 4 hours also bearish, and then after that retracement almost in towards these premium prices, we could trade down lower towards the lows. So then we took some liquidity above this high, which was not really important because it was not close on the premium prices. So after we grabbed this liquidity, I was then looking at shorts. And then what happened was that, let me zoom in a bit, was that we got a first reaction after grabbing that liquidity. We then traded up higher and swiped the early sellers who were selling at first. Then we traded down lower with the same candle, breaking the fractal low as well as the order flow, creating a supply zone which should push us down lower. I decided to then go lower on the lower time frame, and from that supply zone that we have, I wanted to short. So I went over to the 50-minute time frame, or let's say 1-hour time frame, and as you can see, this is a bit more clear. We had this high that swiped the liquidity, which was during Asia. We got the retracement down lower, then a push up higher, grabbing the high, and then after swiping the high and making a strong high, we then got a 1-hour break. So then I was interested to short, and I basically placed my entry on top of this imbalance candle on the 1 hour with my stop loss above the high. So on the 50-minute, to just show you some details as well, we got that 1 hour fractal break, so I saw that we had this refined supply zone. This was the overall supply where you could short from, but I wanted as small of a stop loss as possible, so I decided to put my entry instead of here on this whole supply, just on this refined supply for a better entry. So I placed my entry, I decided to put my stop loss above this high, and then I wanted to trade down lower towards these lows, and I'll explain it on the 4 hour as well. So on the 4 hour, you could see that we could trade all the way down lower from this price point towards the swing low because we're swing bearish. But I was also expecting after this liquidity to at least get a move towards this internal liquidity, and the reason for that was a couple of things. First of all is the weekly. The weekly open was over here, and you can see we just were trading up higher and higher. So after grabbing this liquidity above this high, almost touching premium prices, I was expecting a small move at the end of Friday, a small pullback for the week, trading this internal liquidity out, but that didn't happen. So that was basically the trade. I explained to you guys why I took this trade setup, but now let's see what I could have done better and why it hit stop loss, or why I think it hit stop loss. So if we take a look on the 4 hour time frame, this is where it went wrong. So if we take a look at the checklist, yes, you're structure bearish, yes, you took liquidity above the high, and yes, the order flow changed bearish over here. But if we actually objectively look at premium versus discount, we did not yet hit those premium prices. So that's something we did not have. Looking at supply and demand, we also did not have this on the 4 hour time frame. Yes, we had this daily supply, which is also kind of valid, but on the 4 hour, we didn't have a supply zone. So what is the A+ setup in this case? a move up higher towards the supply, and from this supply you can check off everything. You have structure, you have supply, you have liquidity, you have order flow, and you also have those premium prices as well. So this is the better setup to trade short from that supply. So again guys, even that the weekly has checked off everything from our checklist, structure, supply and amount, liquidity, order flow, premium versus discount, the daily as well, structure, premium versus, or actually daily didn't even have premium prices, same as on the 4 hour, but it had the supply zone, had liquidity and also order flow. So even that the higher time frame is perfectly fine, sometimes the 4 hour or maybe even lower needs more development before it could trade down lower. So if we trade all the way up here and then short, the weekly and daily are still valid, but the 4 hour now also is valid, or actually more valid, A+. So I hope you guys learn a lot from this stop loss that I hit, and basically make sure to always be very patient in order to wait for the best setup. Always take a step back, put your checklist next to you and go off it and see if everything has been checked off. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys learned something from this trade breakdown. If you guys did not, make sure to comment down below what I could do better. Thank you for watching. Ciao.